This video is brought to you by Global Men's Wellness, your 24/7 AI health expert. No copays, waiting rooms, or awkward conversations. Just real answers whenever you need them. Visit globalmenswellness.com to try it free and get your own on-demand concierge-level wellness expert. Global Men's Wellness Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to journey into the command center of male sexual function, the brain. For the last few decades, the conversation around erectile dysfunction has been overwhelmingly focused on the mechanics of the penis. The blood vessels, the smooth muscles, the local release of nitric oxide. And the treatments that came from that research have been life-changing for millions. But what if the origin of the problem for many men isn't in the body, but in the brain? Today we're going to explore a molecule you may have heard of, but in a context you probably haven't: oxytocin, and its powerful, scientifically proven role as a master regulator of penile erection. When most people hear oxytocin, they think of it as the love hormone or the cuddle chemical, responsible for social bonding, maternal instincts, and feelings of connection. And while it does all of those things, a large body of preclinical evidence stretching back over 30 years has revealed another, more direct function. Oxytocin is one of the most potent pro-erectile substances ever discovered when it acts in the right place. To understand this, we have to distinguish between the two main strategies for treating ED. The first, and most common, is the local strategy. This is what drugs like PDE5 inhibitors do. They work at the level of the penis to help the smooth muscles relax and allow blood to flow in. The second strategy is the central strategy, which targets the brain centers that initiate the entire process. This is where oxytocin comes in. Decades of research in animal models have pinpointed the exact location where oxytocin works its magic: a tiny, specialized region of the hypothalamus called the paraventricular nucleus, or PVN. The PVN is like a crucial relay station for sexual function, and within this station are oxytocinergic neurons, brain cells that produce and release oxytocin. The scientific evidence for oxytocin's role here is overwhelming. Studies have shown that when you inject an incredibly small amount of oxytocin directly into the PVN of a male rat, as little as 3 nanograms, it induces powerful penile erections. So how exactly does it do this? The mechanism is fascinating. The oxytocin you inject actually activates the very same neurons that produce oxytocin. It's a positive feedback loop. This activation then triggers the production of nitric oxide, or NO, inside those brain cells. This is a critical point. While standard ED pills work on the effects of NO in the penis, oxytocin works by stimulating the production of NO in the brain, where it acts as a powerful neurotransmitter. This burst of nitric oxide causes the oxytocinergic neurons to fire, releasing their own oxytocin into other parts of the brain, and most importantly, down pathways to the spinal cord, which then sends the final command to the penis to become erect. The evidence for this brain-based mechanism is incredibly robust. Scientists have found that if you block oxytocin receptors in the brain, you can completely prevent erections that are normally induced by other centrally acting drugs, like the dopamine agonist apomorphine. This tells us that many of these brain-based pathways converge on this single, oxytocin-driven system. It appears to be a final common pathway for centrally mediated erections. Furthermore, studies have shown that if you block the production of nitric oxide in the PVN, you also block oxytocin's pro-erectile effect. And in a compelling link to sexual behavior, male rats that are selected for having low sexual activity have been found to have significantly lower levels of both oxytocin and nitric oxide synthase in their paraventricular nucleus compared to normally functioning rats. So with all this powerful, conclusive preclinical evidence, you're probably asking, why isn't oxytocin a blockbuster treatment for ED today? Why isn't it prescribed alongside Viagra and Cialis? This is where the story shifts from the incredible promise of the lab to the immense challenges of the clinic. The single biggest obstacle is the blood-brain barrier. This is a highly selective, protective membrane that separates the bloodstream from the brain, preventing toxins and other large molecules from getting in. Oxytocin is a peptide, which is a relatively large molecule, and it cannot effectively cross this barrier. This means that when you administer oxytocin systemically through an injection into the blood, or even through an intranasal spray, it simply can't reach its target receptors in the PVN in a high enough concentration to produce a therapeutic effect. And this is exactly what human clinical trials have shown. Despite the irrefutable evidence from animal models, studies where men were given intranasal oxytocin have found it to be ineffective at improving sexual function or erectile parameters. The delivery method is the problem. The very thing that makes the brain so well protected is also what's preventing us from using this powerful natural tool to our advantage. It's a classic problem in pharmacology. You can have the perfect key, but if you can't get it to the lock, it's useless. This is why, at present, oxytocin is not a viable therapy for erectile dysfunction. But it's also why it represents one of the most exciting frontiers for the future of ED treatment. The scientific community is actively working to solve this delivery problem. The future likely lies in one of two paths. The first is the development of new non-peptide oxytocin receptor agonists. These would be small synthetic molecules, not peptides, designed to be able to cross the blood-brain barrier and activate the oxytocin receptors in the PVN, mimicking the effect of the natural hormone. The second path involves creating novel delivery systems, perhaps using nanotechnology or other advanced methods that could safely transport the oxytocin molecule itself into the brain. So, what is the ultimate takeaway here? It's that the biology of an erection is far more complex and brain-centric than many people realize. The research into oxytocin has given us a profound understanding of the central command and control systems that govern sexual response. It confirms that for many men, difficulties with erections may have a strong neurological component that is not being addressed by current vascular-focused treatments. My work as a urologist is to stay on the cutting edge of this science. While oxytocin therapy isn't ready for the clinic today, understanding its mechanism helps me better counsel my patients and gives us a window into the future of personalized medicine. A future where we might be able to offer a centrally acting drug for the man whose issue is primarily neurological, and a locally acting drug for the man whose issue is primarily vascular. It's about tailoring the treatment to the specific cause of the problem. The journey of oxytocin from a simple love hormone to a master key for erectile function is a perfect example of how medical science continues to uncover the intricate connections between our minds, our bodies, and our well-being. With HeyGen, simply type your script to get your health anytime, anywhere. Visit globalmenswellness.com and start your free trial today. Get expert-level answers in seconds, not weeks, without the cost, the wait, or the awkward conversations. Real support on your terms. Visit globalmenswellness.com now.